Here with another TNI toy review, and today we're going to take a look at the new DC Collectibles New Gods Orion figure from their new 52 line. And this figure comes packaged in your standard DC Collectibles window box type packaging. You've got the white box with the red borders for based on the character. You've got the New Gods logo up at the top, and then you've got the Orion figure name down in the bottom left hand corner. On the one side you have a darkened in image of the character, and then on the other side you have an actual image of the figure. It tells us the figure includes his astro harness and a flip up visor, and that the figure is based on art by Cliff Chiang, not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, and was sculpted by Jonathan Matthews. Then finally on the back we've got a little brief bio along with the thumbnail image at the top of Orion, and then you have other figures that are being released, Supergirl and Batgirl. And then below that we have the original New 52 Justice League figures that DC Collectibles put out. Okay, so let's get this figure open and take a look at what's inside. Okay, so first we'll take a look at the actual figure, and then we'll take a look at the accessory of the space harness. The figure comes with a helmet with a flippable visor, so you can have the visor up or down. The helmet itself is not removable, but the visor you can lift up over his face. And you can see on his face he's kind of gritting his teeth, and he's got very red eyes underneath the visor. So the face sculpt on the figure looks pretty good for the most part, and I like how the visor works. It's very tight, so it doesn't like fall down over his face or anything, which is nice. The helmet itself, you've got the white eyes on the visor with some black outlines. You then have some black and gold highlights on the helmet. You've got his little red symbol on the top of his helmet. His shirt is sculpted with a kind of a textured plastic on the main parts of the shirt, all red with some black highlights, so that looks pretty good. And then he's got some shinier kind of shoulder pads, and then a flat black for the pants, and then a shinier black on the boots. So the figure stands out nice, and for the most part, you know, the paint apps all look good on this figure. So the figure stands just under 7 inches tall. Here he is next to the new 52 Wonder Woman figure, and you can see he's just a smidgen taller than Wonder Woman. So I would say the scale for the most part is pretty good on this figure. Articulation on the figure is so-so. It's not the best we've seen on DC Collectibles, but it's about average, I would say. The head is on a ball joint, has a little bit of down movement, can look straight ahead, good rotation left and right. Arms are on your standard ball hinge joints. The little shoulder pads on his arm do kind of prohibit him from putting his arm straight out. You can kind of turn it if you want to get him more outwards, but then you kind of have that up and out because of the joint. But he has good rotation at the arm. He does have a bicep swivel. He's got the single hinged elbows, and then he's got swivels at the wrist, but no hinges at the wrist. Then he has no midsection articulation. He does have a waist swivel. Most disappointing is that you've just got that kind of T-crotch on the legs, unfortunately, so he can't do the splits at all. So he's got back movement on the leg, and he can do his leg forward about that much, but you can't do the splits at all. He does have a thigh swivel. He's got a single hinged knee, and then he's got a boot cuff swivel, but no ankle articulation. And then he's got 2 peg holes on the bottom of his feet to fit into his harness. So here's a look at his accessory, the space harness. It's a light hollow plastic, yellow on the body, and then just a flat silver for like the metal pieces. He's got like the little, I guess they're like thrusters on the side, and he's got a little gun on one of the handlebars. Then he's got on the middle here this energy don't know what kind of energy it's called, but basically it's painted with white and kind of silvery black dots. It looks pretty good. The effect of it looks like it's kind of like crisping energy. Not much detail on the back or anything with controls. Basically the arm pieces, they rotate here at the body of the chariot and then also at the handlebars. And he's got this piece that sticks up, and these will fit over his shoulders, and then the legs themselves, they also rotate, and so do the feet pieces. And then he's got the two pegs at the bottom of the feet for his feet to stick into. Now getting the chariot onto him, or the harness onto him, is pretty simple for the most part. You just stick the feet into the pegs at the bottom, and then you take the plastic pieces and lift them up over his shoulders, and they fit right over. Now the only thing that's a little bit difficult is getting him to hold the handlebars. They made the plastic on his hands very stiff, and so it's very difficult to get him because the plastic is so tight and stiff, and at least at first, you know, the openings in the hand aren't super wide, so getting him to fit his hands in can be a bit of a challenge. Now the hands will actually pop off, so I found it's actually a little bit easier if you just pop the hands off, and actually so do the handlebar pieces on the chariot. So it's actually, I found a little bit easier if you just snap those off and then put the hand around the handlebars. And again, even then it's not easy because this plastic is just so stiff. I don't know why they didn't make a little softer rubbery type plastic for his fingers, but once you get it on there, you know, he holds it very tight, so that's the good news. But like I said, getting it on there, at least with my figure, is a little bit of a challenge. And then once you get it on, you can pop his hand back in and pop the handlebar piece back in, and then he holds it. And then other than that, like I said, it's very easy to get the harness on and off. Other than just getting him to hold the handlebars is a little bit of a challenge. So once you have the harness on, basically because of the way the articulation on the figure, you can't get him in a whole lot of poses. Basically he's got to stand in the straight up position with the harness. You can kind of move the handlebars. You know, he's got this gun on the one handlebar, which you can kind of rotate so you can have the gun pointing down or forward or up, however you want. I assume that's a gun. That's what it looks like. That's my review. Overall, this is a pretty decent figure. A little bit added articulation might have been nice, and some softer plastic on the finger so that it's easier to get him to grip the handlebars on the harness would have been nice. But otherwise, I think this is a pretty solid figure. The harness is a pretty cool accessory to have, and it fits well on the figure once you get him holding the handlebars. And the detail and paint apps on the figure are pretty solid. So if you're a fan of the character or just want to add to your new 52 collection, then this is one I would definitely recommend you pick up. It is hitting comic and specialty shops now, so if you want to get it, start looking. And that's my review. Until next time, I'll check you later.